He told me that at 7:50 a.m. on August 8th, he went out as normal to walk his dog. He said that without any warning, men came up to him and grabbed him by the arm, started asking for this other person. And they said, "Are you this person?" He said, "No, I'm not. My name is," they're like, "What's your name?" He said, "My name is Benjamin." These people were masked in plain clothes. He said there was about 3 SUVs and did not identify themselves. They said immigration police. They never said his actual name. They said that he had to go with them to take fingerprints to investigate the supposed person that they were looking for. They never identified themselves. They never had any warrant with his name on it or anything like that. They took his dog, and at some point from inside the car, he saw them unclip the dog and someone stomp on the ground so that the dog would run free. At that point, they took him to a nearby parking lot of the U.S. Postal Service on Magnolia and Kester, and they waited for there about 10-15 minutes. During that time, he heard them brag about the money that they would be receiving for capturing him, approximately $1,500.
Kidnapping.
So I don't know who these people were. They did not identify themselves, and they were overheard to be saying that they would receive money for him, and that lucky for him, for them, they would be able to have drinks that weekend. After about 10-15 minutes, other vehicles came in, and those vehicles were identified as, he believes, were some sort of federal agency. They did have uniforms. They took a while because they did some paperwork, and then he was transferred from those unmarked vehicles to that marked vehicle. So my question is, who were these people that took him? They did not identify themselves. They did not have a warrant. They were not looking for him. And then they sold him out to what I presume is ICE.
Human trafficking!
At that point, he was taken here to Metropolitan. He was transferred a few times. He told me that he was in a cell, tiny, with 25 people or more. The only place that he had to sleep was next to the toilet.
It's a kid.
He had to wake up every time that someone went to the bathroom so that he wouldn't be urinated on. After a week, during that week, he couldn't shower, he couldn't brush his teeth. He was in his pajamas and slippers and shorts. You imagine how cold it is in there. After a week, he arrived in Adelanto around Friday. Finally, Saturday morning, he was able to shower. They weighed him when he was first taken, and then now when he went to Adelanto, he dropped 20 pounds. He's anxious, he's afraid, he's losing weight. Whatever food he is getting, he can't even keep it down right now. He wants to graduate. It is very difficult for a high school student to come in at that age and graduate. He's made it this far on his will and on his dream, and that's being taken away from him. He is in detention. He should be in a classroom with us.
Right.
He does not need to be in detention. Our students need to be safe. All our students deserve the right. They have the right to a free and fair education regardless of their immigration status.
That's right.
So you tell me, someone who comes up to you on the street, unannounced, masked, do not identify themselves without any warrant and take you and sell you? What do you call that? So yes, I am concerned that these were bounty hunters and that they sold him so that they could drink their drinks on the weekend. They sold my child. He should not be there. When I was leaving, there was a little foyer, right, between where we can leave. He held it together until that very end. And I could see him, and I was peeking through. And as I was leaving, he was hiding his eyes, and he held it together until the very end when he started crying. That was the first hug he had received in a week. I don't know what he's been through. I know the care that I've given him, and I know that for me, as a teacher, I have the moral and legal obligation to protect my students. And if that means going 2 hours to the desert to denounce the capture of my student, then I will.
That's right.
He does not deserve to be there. He deserves to be free. Thank you very much.